Today, somebody asked me if there was an issue with a married man or woman going out to lunch with their coworker of the opposite sex. And my answer to that is yes, there's actually a few things wrong with that. Issue number one, y'all seem to forget that marriages have this thing called exclusivity. And by that I mean there are certain things that should be exclusive to a marriage. This includes being in public alone with another person. If there's more people going and it's like a group setting, perfect. If it's just you two though, that's a date. Reason number two, I have an issue with this. If it's just you two going out on a lunch date together, yes, I'm calling it a date now. What are you guys talking about? If you're anything like me, I do not like to talk about work on my break. So now, if we're not talking about work things, we're talking about personal things. So you are a married man or woman in public with somebody of the opposite sex talking about personal things by yourself. Okay. And issue number three, which is actually the biggest problem I have with this entire question. Why are we always trying to see what we can get away with in marriage? It's always seeing how far you can go instead of saying, how strong can I make these boundaries? If you're asking how far can I go before my marriage breaks, instead of how can I reinforce it so it doesn't break, you're in the wrong mindset. All right, man, but what if I work with clients one-on-one and this is how I conduct business? You see, that's different though, isn't it? Because working one-on-one with a client that you're not going to see all the time versus going to lunch with a coworker that you see every day and you start to look forward to going out with them, it's very different energies. This is where people start to refer to me as old-fashioned and outdated, which is fine. I would rather be known as the archaic thinker who is in his 90s and married to the same woman than be a progressive man who is divorced by 40 because he didn't know what a boundary was. Do with that information what you will. So bottom line, if you're married, going out to dinner or lunch with a coworker who is the opposite sex by yourself, not a good idea.
Always shout out to the content creator, man. Again, agree or disagree. Off top, man, it just really sounds like bro's projecting. It really does. Because if you look at the title of his video, he's saying basically, is it okay to go out to lunch with a coworker? Not to go on a lunch date, not to go on a business lunch. He didn't say any of that. But as he get to talk, see, when people get to talking, they get to telling on themselves. And it absolutely just sounds like he's projecting. So for me, I can tell like right away that he's never, okay, let me not generalize, man. What it sounds like is he's never been in those situations to be able to understand what all happened. It's not always something malicious going on when you go to lunch with a coworker. It literally could, and I'm gonna explain because I got an example. I've been on lunches with coworkers, bosses, all this different thing, and I'm gonna give you my experience. But let me say this first: when you go on these lunches, it doesn't always mean that again something malicious is going on, or hey, there's some flirting going on. There's some type of hey, you trying to holler at your coworker. That doesn't always mean that's the case, married or not married, right? So it could be a situation where hey. And again, there's a lot of stuff he it seems like he doesn't understand. You could be doing a group project with this coworker who could be of the opposite sex. And it's like, hey, we working on this project. Let's go ahead and take a lunch and then we can finish talking through it as we eating lunch. It doesn't have to be, oh yeah, girl, I got you alone now on this lunch. Let me holler at you. No, business still, and again, he said for him, when he's on break, he doesn't talk about work. That's for him. You understand? That's why I say he's projecting. Listen, people go to lunch all the time with opposite sex, with the same sex. It doesn't always have to be something else going on or, there's some cheating, some type of scandal going on. Truth be told, and this one, I'm going to give my example, right? Listen, yes, it depend on your goals, right? If you like, hey, I just want to come to work, clock in, do my work, clock out, go home, cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you in a career path, right, you got to understand the game, man. There are going to be times where you have to build relationships with other people that you work with who's different sexes, the same sexes, right? And so therefore, when you're in the office or some type of setting, if you work, everybody's working, a lot of times you don't really get a chance to build those bonds. You follow me? And yes, it is good to go on group settings, but sometimes you may be in a situation where it's just you and the other person. And there's nothing wrong with talking anything personal. Hey, I'm married, right? That's something you can let them know. And hey, I'm married. Out the gate, that creates just natural boundaries where you're like, all right, cool. Maybe you were seeing with that person married. You at least know, okay, hey, I actually do may find this person attractive, but we on lunch, that don't mean I need to cross the boundary, especially if they told me they was married. You follow me? Or hey, guess what? Both of us single, that still don't mean we need to cross the boundaries. But I just know that when you go on lunch, individual or groups, that's when those bonds are created. Because here's the truth. And again, I'm going to some my example, right? When you go on these dates, quote unquote, not dates, when you go to lunch with coworkers, which is what the title he pushed out, again, you're getting to know that person because you'll learn, like, if both of you guys are pursuing higher achievements at this job and this career path, you guys are gonna cross later down the line. You follow me? And why not build those bonds early? Because you may be their boss, they may be your boss later down the road. Hell, let's say, for my example, I went to lunch with my boss who was a female who was excellent, but I never looked at her as, hey, and again, this is before I was married, but even if I was married, right, I wouldn't be looking at it like, man, I'm trying to get with her. I'm looking at it like, shoot, man, listen, I'm trying to come up, and this is me building that relationship to gain trust and gain favor with the person that can put me in position. Or even if it's a coworker, you know what I mean? As you leveling up, or if you moving around the company or whatever, and you on a team, you need to be able to lean on that person and they can lean on you. So you just building those different bonds. Again, I can tell from what it sounds like to me, and this made me shoot my shot out in the dark. It don't seem like bro's ever been in those situations where it, because even the way he breaking it down, he's speaking his side of it. I can tell he never been in those situations. I can tell he never been in those situations. And he, again, it just sounds like he projecting. So I just don't agree, man. Again, I've been in situations where it was, a male, a female, coworker, boss. I've been in those situations, and for me, it worked out in my favor. It's the same concept as like guys, you know, going to golf with their boss or something like that, or women going to different events with their male counterpart bosses. Listen, I get there's stories, there's movies, there's all this, but it doesn't always be about that, man. It doesn't always be about some type of intimate hookup or, the conversation went left. It doesn't always have to be about that. It could literally be, again, this person vetting you to see, okay, hey, we're on a group project, or hey, we're about to team up for something at work. Can I trust this person? Right? Do we have something in common where next time, if I get the chance to pick teams or something like that, can I work with this person on this project? How intelligent are they? Right? And that gives you a chance to see who you working with. Hey, what are their strengths and weaknesses? You follow me? It's a lot more nuance to just coming in with the mind state of, man, I'm married. This is crossing the line with me going on a luncheon out on our break, and you calling it a date. It don't always gotta be about that. You follow me? So again, I don't like the approach. I don't like the viewpoint of it. And again, I won't sit here and be naive and say those things don't happen, right? Because we all know somebody who like, yo, Charles and Rachel, they back on another date, right? And you can kind of tell the energy. That's different. But on a regular, man, this is happening every single day, bro. And it is not always, again, anything that's crossing the line or, making it seem like, hey, man, I'm stepping outside of my marriage. A lot of times, dude, stuff is just simple and it's literally about work. Or actually, you know what? You get on a lunch with a person, you like, man, now we can both let our hair down. Let's talk about this craziness going on at work, and you build bonds in that manner, right? So again, it's like I'm building trust to this person because I'm kind of like letting my hair down, they letting their hair down. Like, man, this is crazy at work. Our boss this and that, or hey man, what you think about this? I'm thinking to get ready to, you can build that foundation as well. Like, hey, I'm thinking about taking on this project. Can I, because you trust that person, you can say, hey, can you give me some feedback on this? Right? Or hell, even again, let's say you don't want to talk about work. Again, it doesn't always have to be anything, again, intimate or sexually. It could be like, hey man, shoot, I heard your birthday coming up. That's what's up. What y'all doing? What you have vacation coming up? What you doing? Like just shooting the ish, man. It don't always gotta be about anything crazy. Regardless if it's the opposite sex, the same sex. And again, I know he's preferencing it where it's it's the opposite sex, like male and female. I know that's the way he's framing it. But again, I just don't agree, man. And again, I won't sit here and say that these things don't happen, but I don't take on the mindset of that's the intentionality. That's what happened every time. Oh my God. Like it's taboo. Oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? You evil for doing that. Like, I would never do that. Like, I don't agree with that type of, bro, calm down. You know what I mean? Listen, if a married man if he loves his wife and his family, it don't matter what situation he in. If he on his purpose, he holding down his family, he love his wife, it don't matter what situation that man is, he gonna hold it down, right? But again, my last point on this is, I'm not gonna sit here and say these things will happen, but 99% of the time, bro, I'm pretty sure it's just simple getting to lunch. Hey, we talking about work stuff, or if we not talking about work stuff, it's probably just talking about sports. It's probably just talking about the latest gossip. I swear to you, man, it's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep. But anyway, again, shout out to the content creator. If y'all got any value from this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and man, share this video out because somebody need to hear this craziness, man. Like, but anyway, with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.